Good morning, Tallahassee. I'm meteorologist Ulises Garcia here bringing you the severe weather update. Right now, we do still have a severe thunderstorm warning in effect for parts of Taylor, Lafayette, and Madison County. This will expire as we go into 5:30 in the morning, but we do see more warnings now towards the Valdosta area, now pushing further east of the I-75, I-10 corridor, pushing now towards south central Georgia. We'll look a little bit closer with those warnings to get more information about it. It does show that the warnings now in Lafayette and Madison County will actually begin to expire at 5:30. There is still a tornado watch in effect for parts of that same area where the thunderstorm warning is in effect. But I want to read a little more information about the warnings going on throughout the region, and but those storms could bring us hail, strong winds, very heavy rain. So just remember to give yourself extra caution if you do have to go on the roads throughout the next hour or so. But these severe thunderstorm warnings are still in effect throughout the area, and that's affecting pretty much counties like Lowndes, Brooks County, points further east like Cook County, Lanier, Eccles, Clinch County. So all these counties further out to the east, they will be in effect at least until 5:30, even 6 a.m. But the tornado watch further out to the east has now expanded till 10 o'clock. Doppler radar does show that we do have the clearing trend has already began for Tallahassee and points west, and that's excellent news. But the rain continues for our eastern sectors. So right now, Perry, Valdosta, Thomasville is just finally finishing up. Monticello, Madison is still under that rain and just pushing further towards the east. So I-10, I-75, right now they're getting hit with the rain. Eventually Gainesville will be next as we go towards sunrise. The base velocity, this has been used throughout the night. This is just to look at rotations within thunderstorms for possible tornadic creations. When it comes to the green, that means that the wind is flowing towards the radar. Red is going away from the radar, and you do notice that there's been some strong winds, especially in Madison County, with a lot of red just over that area and going all the way into parts of Valdosta. So it's been a really strong morning. We have been noticing some couplets forming earlier in the morning hours, especially over into over near Cairo and Grady County when there was a tornado confirmed there. Also in Dothan, near the Dothan area, in Houston County in Alabama. Even in Panama City, National Weather Service will confirm that. They'll look over the damages there. But even in Pensacola, just back on Tuesday night, and it's just a tragic situation what happened there, and also in parts of Louisiana as well. So it's been a really rough afternoon from yesterday. The last 12 hours or so, it's just been really rough throughout the southeast. The radar just shows how destructive has just been this line of storms. I mean, just about a day ago to a day and a half ago was just a low pressure developing over Texas, but it really just pounded New Orleans late last night, going into Pensacola, then us, and now it's finally pushing into the peninsula of Florida, eastern Georgia, South Carolina, and eventually even parts of the eastern seaboard are going to be next when it comes to that rain. We do see some snow falling, though, into Illinois, Missouri, and even parts of Arkansas on the backside of that low pressure where the colder air is. There's also actually an enhanced and moderate risk of severe weather for parts of the Carolinas, especially North Carolina for today. Raleigh, Durham, they're really the main regions in the Carolinas that are going to be seeing the highest risk of severe weather, tornadoes, hail, strong winds, and heavy rain for that area. There's also slight risk going down into parts of the peninsula of Florida, Tampa, Orlando, Jacksonville, Savannah. And even we have a slight risk, a marginal risk, even as far north as New York City. So, I mean, the severe weather is not done. It will continue throughout the rest of our Wednesday and into even Wednesday evening. So just have that NOAA weather radio in effect for you throughout the day and have those batteries ready and even have an emergency preparedness kit. The tornado watch is still in effect for the eastern portions of Florida until 10 a.m. That actually goes as far south as Pasco County. So just the county above Tampa, this tornado watch is in effect by the Storm Prediction Center, and it continues all the way up into Georgia. So just be on the lookout as we go into the morning hours for any possible strong thunderstorms that could have tornadoes in them. The lightning strikes have been stronger earlier in the night. They're now been more concentrated into the Valdosta area. They're starting to fall apart, but don't let that fool you. Just because they're falling apart now, just remember the sunrise does occur within the next 2 hours, so that could give more energy back to these weakening storms to fire up now as we go into the morning and even early afternoon hours. So that doesn't mean that the worst is over. You know, it's still, don't let your guard down. Be ready just in case. Storm reports piling up now at this hour over the Big Bend. We did have that tornado in Grady County around 3 o'clock this morning. Let me read out some of the wind reports that occurred throughout the early morning hours. In Wakulla County, there was debris, trees down in about southeast of Crawfordville. So mostly trees down in Wakulla County, but even in Tallahassee, there was also trees reported down. Mostly, the good news was when it comes to the power lines were down though towards northeast of Tallahassee. So when it comes to the city of Tallahassee though, there is an issue when it comes to the winds, because today we are under a wind advisory until 6 p.m. Winds could be up to 25 miles per hour with gusts up to tropical storm force. So 35, 40 mile per hour gusts are still possible. And when that happens, the city of Tallahassee, for safety reasons, you know, they can't fix those power lines due to the safety reasons, you know, of the wind swaying on those cherry pickers just to fix, you know, the power lines. So hopefully, you know, the winds do die down and they can get that fixed hopefully today. But if not, unfortunately, you may have to wait out till Thursday for that to get fixed. But the storm reports are going to be piling up as we go deeper into the morning. So just be on the lookout for that. And just remember to, you know, drive around, you know, the debris, because there is going to be a lot of evaluations going on by the National Weather Service through all these states from Georgia and Florida all the way up to Louisiana. The evaluation day is here, and that's what they're going to be doing, assessing all the damage that occurred. Unfortunately, 3 people did die in Louisiana yesterday due to the tornadic activity. Current temperatures are still on the warm side. Temperatures climbing into the 70s right now at this hour. These could actually be the highs for today. Temperatures are pretty much going to begin to eventually plateau at this point and eventually start falling as we go deeper into the afternoon. And with those winds coming in, temperatures are even going to feel cooler than that 71 degrees that you see right now, especially when they come out of the north later on today. The dew point, very sticky, very humid. That helped induce a lot of the severe weather we saw throughout the early morning hours and late last night, with those dew point numbers all the way up into the 60s. Very oppressive, but there is already signs of drier air coming in, 60 degrees in Mariana, and that'll eventually push through the region as we go deeper into today. The winds are still coming out of the southwest, so there is still that leftover moisture. The frontal system is still to the west of us. That'll eventually push through, but the winds will not die down. Wind advisory is in effect until 6 p.m. So if you do have SUVs, we recommend you to drive with caution. The wind gusts right now, relatively quiet towards the western portion, only 17, 19 in Wilma, 33 in Perry, so still howling due to the rain and just the thunderstorms over there. But we did have gusts up to 54 miles per hour in Bainbridge. Tallahassee Airport also reported wind gusts up to into the 50 mile per hour range about 2 hours ago. So we've been monitoring it all night here at FSU Weather. And when it comes to the storm reports, we're going to have a lot more information about that tonight at 6 p.m. with our team leader Aisha and the crew of FSU Weather are going to be reporting about everything that occurred last night here at FSU Weather, and just we're going to keep you up to date as the week goes on with any more reports coming in for the National Weather Service. But to look back, when it comes to tornado safety, the best place to be is in the bathroom, in the interior of the house, on the first floor or the basement, and that's because anything away from the windows is the best place, just for the fact that once the windows break, that will funnel in air. So if you don't have if the bathroom is not your safest place, the second recommendation would be your closet. So right now, that's the information that I have. But the good news is cooler times are ahead as we go further into the work week and the weekend. Temperatures will actually begin to fall closer to that freezing mark. It will be flirting with it. Afternoon highs are also going to begin to dip back into the 60s. And as we go back into the beginning of March, we'll actually see temperatures rebounding really nicely into the upper 70s by early next week. But now we're going to send it over to Casey, and he will take one final look on any severe weather updates.
Thanks, Ulises. Yeah, we're monitoring the situation closely. Going to kind of wrap things up for tonight, everybody, since we are really losing any warnings in our market area. Just going to kind of made this short here to recap a few things that have occurred tonight. So we now don't even have any warnings in our area, folks. So it was an active evening. You see that we have warnings now just moving out of our viewing circle. That's the good news. Severe thunderstorm warnings, parts of Columbia, Hamilton, areas to the north. These storms moving very fast to get out of the viewing circle. So good news. I'm going to step off actually and kind of loop the warnings. Now when it says current warnings, just kind of ignore that. I want to show everybody how what's transpired over the last 6 hours or so in terms of what did occur. This is last 6 hours. You see the warnings, how they did transpire. So it was an active morning for sure of severe weather across the region. Doppler radar tells the story nicely as these storms now exit in our region. You do see still some thunderstorm activity in Taylor County, but again, these storms moving very fast out of our area. That's the good news. Severe threat pretty much over for a majority of our viewing circle. Base velocity winds no longer at severe limits either. Southeast radar, again, this line moving quickly. Still a severe threat over North Florida, Central Florida, up to the north, North Carolina, especially parts of that state under a moderate risk for severe weather. Tornado watch continue to be trimmed back. Monticello no longer under this. Tallahassee, St. Marks, just our extreme eastern counties, so only Taylor and Madison now under this watch here for another 27 minutes, and that should be expired relatively shortly. Might even cancel that a little bit early or in the next 27 minutes. Now, the watch further to the east though goes till 10 o'clock for parts of the first coast, southeast Georgia. Local affiliates over there have covered as conditions do warrant lightning strikes moving away. That's the good news. So again, a severe threat out of our viewing circle, except watch extending for a few more minutes for Taylor and Madison counties. But for the most part, a severe threat has ended for our viewing circle. Now, the storm reports kind of recap what did happen. We had a lot of damage in terms of reports tonight. I'll step up and kind of present some of these to you and show you exactly what did occur. Talking about damage report-wise, we did have wind damage 2 miles to the west-southwest of Tallahassee at 307. More just east of Tallahassee, east-northeast around that same time frame. Wakulla County, wind damage 4 miles east of Crawfordville and 5 miles southeast of the city. Wind damage 3 miles south of Greenville, Madison County, about an hour and a half ago. Wind damage northern Jefferson County, a couple of areas of that, Muskogee. Getting into South Georgia, there was even a tornado report. We were giving you the update on that, 2 miles southeast of Wiggum, based on a tornado debris signature, and some wind reports varied around. So that's that with the report breakdown. Again, this is what did occur tonight. More reports out to the west. The wind damage was around there too. Panama City, nasty circulation did come on. So we're not sure if it was tornado damage there or wind damage. And tornado confirmed, it looks like more than likely around the Dothan area. They'll have to do a survey to make sure, but based on some of the information we're getting out of there, likely a tornado and serious damage around Pensacola. Temperature-wise, right now, 71 degrees. Those temperatures pretty warm. There's dew points in the upper 60s. The winds, it's going to be a factor. We're under a wind advisory for later today until 6 p.m. tonight, so make sure you keep tuned with that. And those wind gusts, pretty high, 27 St. Marks, 19 Wilmot. We'll be watching gusts maybe to 40 even as we get later into the war today. Again, we'll have a recap of all the severe weather situation coming up later on tonight, about 12 hours away, a little more. Team leader Aisha Wilkinson, the rest of her team will be here, break everything down for the viewing circle and for what did occur over these last 24 hours or so. Tune in for that. It's going to be a great show on Comcast Channel 4. That's 4 FSU. FSU Cable Channel 78.1 and livestream.com. So what I'll do is I'll leave you with these wind gusts. Again, thanks so much for joining us tonight. For everybody in the weather team, we're so happy you could keep it tuned right here at FSU Weather for all the latest information. But for now, I'm Casey Clyde. Have a good morning, good night. Thanks so much for tuning in.